Hey guys, this is Gaurav. Welcome to SaaS with ServiceNow. In this video, we are going to talk about ServiceNow problem management. So you will see an overview, end-to-end overview of problem management application in ServiceNow, that how problem management process works in ServiceNow, how that application works, and how ITIL user and ServiceNow administrator can utilize ServiceNow problem management application. Type of training. Now, in this training, we will talk about two different users. One is an ITIL user who uses the problem management application, and another is admin user who exactly configure the problem management application or implement the problem management application. Who should do this training? If you want to learn problem application in ServiceNow, then you should do this training. If you work on problems in ServiceNow, if you are a problem manager, so in your organization, if you use ServiceNow and you are a problem manager, then this training is for you. If you perform root cause analysis in your organization, if you work as an IT expert in ServiceNow, if you want to do reporting in ServiceNow, if you want to configure problem application as an administrator with ITIL and ServiceNow best practice. So if you're also working as a ServiceNow developer and administrator, and your organization has asked you to configure problem management application or implement problem management application, then you should see this training. What is out of the box? So OOB. So whenever we talk about this OOB, that is out of box, that means any default feature and functionality provided by ServiceNow. So if I will use this word OOB or out of box, you will automatically understand then that this functionality is already provided by ServiceNow. Anything apart from out of the box is customization. So any feature which a base platform is providing, that is out of the box. What is a problem? Now, this is a really important question before starting implementing problem management application. Now, problem is an issue due to which incident was raised. A multiple same kind of incidents leads to a problem. So, for example, let me give you an example that if there's an incident which is keep on coming, maybe on any server, maybe on Windows server, you are getting threshold alert like every day. For example, 95% is being utilized, and you are getting that alert on first day. And because of that utilization, some applications are running slow, or maybe because storage is full, so you are getting some alerts. So that created some incidents, or maybe one incident, maybe on one day. Now after 2 days, so maybe you took some actions, you removed it, then after 2 days you again saw that alert for second like instance, and that might be same, that threshold frequency, that the threshold has increased. Now if this kind of incident will occur again and again, then you will think that, okay, I think there is definitely some issues on the server, and you need to investigate it. In order to do that investigation, that means multiple occurring of incident will lead to a problem, and then you will assign that problem to someone, and they will perform the initial investigation analysis and do the root cause analysis of that particular problem. What is problem management? Now, problem management helps to identify the cause of an error in the IT infrastructure, reported as occurrences of related incidents. So, as you understood the problem, that what is a problem? But problem management is like a process which helps you to identify the root cause of that problem. So that is the target. So it is basically the structured process or the steps which you needs to follow so that you can track everything in the best way. That's what problem management is. So if I have an incident, and it got created in the first day, for example, on the first day, and then second incident, and then I have third incident. So that means I have reoccurring of these incident and they are same kind of incident. Then I have identifying the problem. That means I need to see that why I am getting these incidents regularly and they are same kind of incidents. So in that case, I will look for the problem investigation. And the next part is that is problem investigated and resolved permanently. So you investigate the root cause, you investigate on that particular problem, and then you find the solution and resolve it permanently. So as you are getting multiple alerts, multiple issues, or multiple incidents for any specific reason, you created the problem, you started investigating it, and you found out that you have to add more space on the server. So that was like a permanent solution. So that means at least for future you will not get those incidents again. So that means you have resolved that problem and those recurring incidents permanently. How problem is created? So problem can be created by IT staff. So if you are working like problem management is not specifically for end users, because this is something which should be handled internally within the IT world, because end user won't worry about this problem management process. He is just worrying about the incident, and that is only the one incident which he will raise individually or for the different people or for other people. But once incident will be created, and if single user or the same user is creating an incident or for same kind of issue every day maybe or every week, then it will become a problem for you and you will create a problem and track it for further investigation. So if you see here, we have this IT staff who creates the problem. So the ways which you can create a problem is like problem application in ServiceNow that you can create. So we have a problem management application in ServiceNow. You go over there and you can create a new problem. Then we have incident form. Now ServiceNow has also given you the opportunity or to IT agents opportunity to create problem directly from the incident form. And the third way is to create is via email. So as you know in ServiceNow we have inbound actions. So if you want to create problem, you can also create it via email. Problem management process. Now as I mentioned, we talked about problem, we talked about problem management. Now when we club both of them, that means when we have a problem, we have to follow some process, that how I can achieve that root cause analysis and how can I make sure that that investigation is done and everything is resolved. I don't need to worry about that particular issue in the future. How can I make sure? Now, this thing you cannot make sure just on the emails. You should have some proper process, and that's the reason ServiceNow came up with this application. And it's not just ServiceNow. I think problem management process or whatever processes we have in ITIL framework, in ITIL process, I think most of the organizations they have, or most of the tools I would say which are related to IT ticketing tool, they definitely have these applications, segregated applications for different processes. So if I talk about problem management process, that starts with, so we start it. We start with problem detection. So if I have reoccurrence of incidents, I see that incident, I create a problem. So first I find the problem, that what exactly the problem is. Once I find the problem, that I will log that problem. Yes, this is the problem. I need to log it. Once that's done, then I will categorize that problem. That what kind of category that problem falls in. Then we have prioritization. Now it depends. Now prioritization totally depends on the kind of issue you have. If those reoccurrence of incidents, if they were like a P1 incident, high priority incident, then you have to make sure that this problem is high priority problem and you are investigating it on time or within SLA or whatever SLA you have defined as per your organizational problem management process. After prioritization, we go for investigation and diagnosis. So once you are done with prioritization, categorization, and logging, then you assign that particular problem to someone. That means you have to investigation, right? You have to do the investigation diagnosis that what exactly the problem is and why exactly it is occurring. So in that case, you go for a workaround as well. That means if you have this problem, that means reoccurring incidents, do you have any workaround? So you're not going to close the problem as of now, but you would see if that team can provide you the workaround. So I know that there is a problem. We are continuously getting the incidents, and it is impacting the portal or some application. But I can still see if I have some workaround. Then we have known error. Now I know, okay, this is a known error and it is still being worked upon. I'm still working on it. Then that becomes a known error. And then we have change needed. That means when you work on that problem and then you got to know, yes, I think this is a known error. So I'm just waiting for a change to be implemented. So you found the fix, you have investigated the problem, you have found the fix. Now you have to create the change, and that comes under change management process. So you will create a change. So that's the first thing you have to check whether change is needed or not. If change is needed, so that is yes, then you will go for perform a change. That means you will implement that change which you have created. And if the answer will be no, that means I don't need any change to be implemented, then I will directly go for a resolution. So if the activity which you have found after investigation, which can resolve the issue, if it does not need any kind of change, then you can directly go for this resolution. If it needs a change, then you will perform the change and implement it. Then we have closing. That means you will close the problem, that you are done with the complete problem management process life cycle. And then we have major problem. That means if they are like high priority problems. And if it's no, so answer is no, then you will go for end. That means you don't have to do any kind of action. But if it's a major problem, and if the answer is yes, then it would go for review major problem. That means they would be, it depends on the organizational structure or the team structure of your problem management team, but it would go for review major problem. That means this major problem would be reviewed by some teams, and after reviewing it goes to end. So this is the overall life cycle, basically overall problem management process, that how exactly it works from start to end. How to manage problems. ServiceNow provides problem application to manage problem records. So as I mentioned, that most of the tools they have or they are coming up with this functionality that so that people can track or organizations can track problems which have been created by incidents. So how we manage problems, as I mentioned, ServiceNow also provides an application that is problem management application. IT agent submits the problem to investigate the root cause of any incident. IT agent creates problem to investigate the root cause of reoccurring of same incident. Now it might happen that you always don't need a problem for only reoccurring incidents. It might happen that you have a one single priority one which impacted a lot of customers of your organization. In that case, you really want to know, because while resolving the P1, that priority one incident, everybody will be in hurry and they will just try to resolve the issue rather than they will put their time to investigate it. So they will resolve the issue, and then you create the problem record, and it should be high priority problem record, and then you will investigate that what was the reason of that major incident, and then you will close it once you will find the solution. Problem application. So ServiceNow has this problem application. This is ITIL view and admin view both. So you don't have any extra modules for admin view. So as you can see, we have this application. Who can access problem application? Now users with ITIL role can access problem application in ServiceNow. ITIL roles are given to the users, IT specialists who work on incidents and resolve the incidents assigned to them. Problem modules. So as you can see, we have multiple modules under problem management application, and the name of the application is problem. So if I talk about the first module, we have this create new. That is, if you want to create a new problem. So if you will click this button, you can create the new problem record. Then we have assign to me. So all the problems assigned to the logged in user, it will be shown here. So that you will see the list of problems. Then we have known errors. Now all the problems whose state is known errors, then you can see here that will show you the list of those problems. Then we have open. So all open problems which are active. Then we have pending. So all the problems whose state is pending. That means investigation is still going on. And then we have all. That means all the problems created in your instance that you can see directly from all. And then we have overview. And I think you must have seen in other applications as well. It just show you the dashboard, which shows you some data as per the problem management application. Problem form. So if I talk about the problem management form, that what kind of fields it has and what are its utilization basically. So let's start with the problem form header. So as you can see, we have this problem form header, which is at the top. Then we have this attachment icon. Then this is the personalized form where you can select the fields, what fields you want to see on the form. Then we have more options. And then we have this submit button. The next is number. So it shows you the number of the problem record. Here you can select the business service which is impacted. Then you can select the CI, the configuration item which is impacted with that problem. Now this is the change request. So the change request number to fix the problem. So if you remember, we talked about in our in our problem management process, we had that change needed. So if you will create a change and you want to tag that change that yes, for fixing this problem, we have this change created and that will be implemented. Then we have this major problem field. That means it says whether it's a major problem or not. Then it's knowledge. That means if you want to create knowledge article on closure of problem, that means once this problem will be resolved, if you want to create knowledge article out of it, which will be in draft state, not directly published because somebody has to review it. Then we have state of problem, which defines that what exactly the status of the problem. Then you have impact. It's similarly like we had an incident like impact. Then we have urgency, which decides the priority. That's what you have. It's like similar as we have in our platform, that impact, urgency, and then priority. Then we have assignment group. That means the group to which problem is assigned. And similarly, the person who will be working on this particular problem, who will be part of that assignment group, that will be here. Then we have short description. It's just like a title of the problem. For example, uh, I think on particular server, threshold is being increased regularly. So that's kind of a problem. Then we have brief description of the problem. So if you want to describe the complete problem situation you have, like maybe you got multiple incidents created, so you can just describe that problem so that whomsoever team will acknowledge this problem, they will be able to understand that what exactly they need to investigate. Then we have this notes of the problem. That means it's a notes section where you have this work notes list, work notes, workaround. So if I go with these fields, like we have work notes list, so you want if users who should get work notes notification, that's what you can mention over here. Then we have work notes. So whatever action you take as an ITIL user, if you're investigating something, that you can mention here as a work notes of the problem. Now, this is the workaround. So if you remember, we talked about the workaround of the problem. That means as a assignment group person, and if you're working on this problem and you have some workaround in your mind, then you can put here in this particular section. There is also a way that you can communicate this workaround to the different people as well. Then we have closer section. In closer section, we have fields like closed by. That means the person who have closed the problem. Then we have closed. This shows the closed date and time. And then we have closed notes. So for example, if I am closing the problem, I am done with my investigation, I have provided the solution, maybe I have fixed the problem as well and fixed the solution. In that case, if I want to close this problem, I can just mention those notes right here. Problem related list. So if you will see by default out of the box problem related list, you will see this incidents and problem task. So this will show you all the incidents tagged to the problem. Now, if you remember, as I mentioned, that when you will have a reoccurrence of incidents. So for example, in ServiceNow, overall incidents, you got 5 incidents. Now, you can't create 5 problems if they are similar to each other. That means the kind of issues which we have seen, they are similar. In that case, those 5 incidents will just have one problem, and you will tag one problem on all the incidents, and then all those 5 incidents will be visible in that particular problem related list. Then we have problem task. Now, while an assignment group investigate on the problem, they might need more information from other teams. Any team, maybe if database team is investigating something, they might need something from server team, maybe application team. In that case, if they want to assign a problem task to the different people or different teams, then they can do here. Problem form menu. So if you open ServiceNow problem management racket like form basically, and you will right click on the header, you will see these options, or maybe you can click on that burger icon, then you will see these options, and this is called form menu, and it's a standard in the native, the core UI of ServiceNow, where you see like close problem. So this is the option it is giving you. So it's a menu which says close problem. So if you want to close the problem you're working on, you can click this button and it will close. Then we have resolve incidents. So if you want to resolve all the incidents which are tagged to this problem, now it might happen that you got multiple incidents and you don't want to resolve them right now, and you want to keep a problem open because you're not able to resolve them, you don't have any workaround maybe. In that case, you are investigating the problem, and then if you want to resolve all the incidents, you can just click this button and it will resolve all the incidents tagged to the problem. Then we have create normal change. So if you want to create normal change from this problem, you can create it right from here. Similarly, change but a different type, that is emergency change. Problem list. So as I mentioned, when you will click on any of the module like assign to me or open or all, then you will see this list of problems. Then you have problem related links. Now on the form, on the problem form, you have this related links. And as I mentioned about workaround, that there is a related link called communicate workaround. That means send notes, mention and workaround via notification. So if there is a workaround and you're working on this problem, but you have not found the issue yet, and or maybe you're not able to find the root cause yet, but you want to communicate the workaround, in that case, you can just mention the workaround in the field workaround and then click this button. It will send a notification. Post knowledge. Now this would create knowledge article from the problem in draft mode. So if you're working on problem and you want to create a problem, create a knowledge article from this problem, then you can do that with the help of post knowledge related link. And then we have post news. This has similar functionality like post knowledge, because this would also create a knowledge, but it will be categorized as news. So that is the only difference basically for this particular functionality. Then we have problem states. Now, if you have seen my incident management like overview, that is that is showing the complete application walkthrough, it's similarly we have here problem states. So the states we have is open, pending change, known error, and closed or resolved. This is what I have out of box in problem management application. That means on problem management form, you will find these four states. Priority. Now, as I mentioned in incident management session, the priority are similar what we have in incident. So there is no difference. You select impact, you select urgency, and then you get the priority. And priority is always read only. So you will not be able to edit priority directly. You have to select urgency and impact. So similarly, we have impact and then urgency, which will decide the priority. Then we have priority combinations. It is similar with incident management priority. So there's no difference, but I will still just give you a snapshot or just to give you an overview at how exactly this priority combinations work. So we have urgency, impact, priority. So let's start with high, high, and then it says critical. So if I select urgency as high, impact as high, so priority of the problem would become critical. Then we have this combination. Then we have this combination. If I have urgency like 2 medium and then impact as 1 high, then priority will become high. Then I have this like this, and the last one is something related to low one. So I have low, then it's a high, medium, then again it's low, priority is low. And then it's like urgency is low, impact is low, and the priority is planning. It's very low.